So I've got a ferry to get across the river. I've passed one which was working and I've passed one which was closed. So that's a 50-50 for now. Good morning, welcome back to the channel. Start of day 3. Just leaving this campsite. Happy camping, Moselle, something like that. I'll put it on screen again. Moselle River's just over there, behind those camper vans. I'm not sure how happy camping it is, because there's a railway line on the other side of the river. You can hear the trains all night. And behind me here is the main road, as you can see. To be honest, the traffic does die down in the early hours, so that's not too bad, but the sound of the trains is, yeah, just a bit too much. Anyway, plan for today, I'm going to make my way up to Koblenz, following the Moselle Valley, and then make my way down towards Baden Baden, through the back roads again, avoiding the motorways. Should be a full day's ride. I'll see if I can find somewhere to camp in advance this time and not leave it to the very last minute like I did last night. Which was a bit problematic, but anyway, let's go. Yeah, got some rubbish to throw in the waste disposal bins and then make my way up to Koblenz. So litter is this way. Oh yeah, I can see it, they're over there. Okay, I've left the campsite. Just making my way down to the bridge to cross over onto the other side of the river. Lovely day. Fuel is 256 kilometres, so all good. The 100-kilometre speed limit on this road is intersected with villages, so you're going from 100 down to 50, 100 down to 50. Main road on the other side. I'm not quite sure which side of the river is the best route. Anyway, on to Koblenz, about half an hour away, and then breakfast. I think didn't have breakfast at the campsite. Oh, I've got a fly on my nose. There you go. There's a lot of vineyards on the Moselle Valley. Obviously it's a wine region, which I might have to look for some Moselle wine, German wine from the Moselle Valley. I was just thinking, obviously it's quite busy, Cockham. I'd like to have spent a little bit more time there. It was quite overcrowded given the river cruises, etc. We are in summer. Even the queues for the restaurants and the cafes were out the door. I was panicking a little bit, didn't have a campsite, so that was priority. If I'd had a campsite in mind and already booked maybe, and then I could have ridden back into Cockham, because it was only 10 minutes away from the campsite that I'd stayed at, I would have had a little bit more time, offload the luggage and then do it that way. But it's not too far away from the UK, so if you want to do the Moselle Valley, you can do that there and back in a week, 5 days, 4 days, easily. Straight on we go. Seems to be tailbacks on the bridge. Another impressive bridge going across the Moselle Valley. I wonder how long it took to be constructed. Got some clouds building up there. Apparently it's supposed to do some heavy rain tomorrow around this area. Nice bridge. the other side of the road blocked? Satnav says the other side of the road is actually locked. Can't see any traffic moving on there. I think that might be my original route because the Satnav was saying road closed. Can't see any moving traffic. In Koblenz now, had a bit of a loop around the city, looking for somewhere to park. I found this motorcycle parking here. Had a little bit of a wander, nothing too far away from the bike. Now I'm going to make my way down the Rhine and take it from there. So let's get a move on. Just work out where he's going first. In the disabled parking, okay. Some of the shops are still closed. 10 o'clock in the morning. You'd think the cafes would be open, but no, they're still closed. Strange. I wanted a coffee or something. Yeah, we're going down towards the Rhine now. One thing is the traffic lights seem to stay on for ages. Okay, looks good soon. A lot of construction work going on. The River Rhine. Anyway, onwards down the Rhine. Get out of Koblenz and then follow the river on the back roads. A lot of castles in Germany. White Tower, the Dark Tower. So I want to be staying on the 42. According to good friend Google, the 42 is the best side of the Rhine to stay on. So we'll do that. See how it goes. And another one. What, the 3 cooling towers above it though. So we're on the 42, heading down to Baden, and there's lots of roadworks. It's about the 4th one I've come across along the Rhine. Temporary traffic lights, roadworks of some sort. You can see the other side, it seems to be the main road on that way, but according to Google, this is the route to take. For a motorcyclist at least anyway. I'll share my thoughts on that when I get to the end. The plan for today is to go towards Baden Baden. If I can make Baden Baden by the end of the day, all good. If not, I'll find somewhere to stay just before. When I came back from the Dolomites and through Switzerland into Germany a couple of years ago, I wanted to do the B500. So did the bottom half. The top half was closed for roadworks. I never did it, never completed it. So at least if I do the top half going north to south to Freudenstadt, from Baden Baden to Freudenstadt, then I'll have done the B500. So onwards. Nice air blowing through the jacket. There's a Rhine barge down there. Vineyards all along the side of the hill. There you go, Rhine River cruise. If you've got your time on your hands, why not? Sit out on deck, sunbathe. On a day like this, it's probably really good. Enjoyable. Oh, people have got rooms and cabins. Watch the world go by slowly. I don't think I'm of an age where I really want to do them, but who knows? According to the sat-nav, there's quite a few roadworks on this road. I just passed another one, but thankfully the lights were green. Oh, here we go, green, green, green. Keep going, green. There we go, that was lucky. What they're doing here. More roadworks. So I've got a ferry to get across the river. I've passed one which was working and I've passed one which was closed. So that's a 50-50 for now. Some strengthening work. So we'll see if it's available and working. If not, I'll have to go further around, cross over a bridge somewhere, and then make my way down to Baden Baden. It takes a lot more out of the day, but that's the good thing about not having a particular plan. And that is, I am open to deviation. So any deviation that occurs in the route, it's not so much of an issue. Wow, that is very impressive. Is that a church or a castle or? Another one. Wow. Some Germanic traditional buildings there by the looks of things. So I can see in the distance the ferry. It's not that one. Motorrad, €4.30. Well, I'm gonna park up here. Ferry's over there, and until he gives us some instructions, I'm gonna leave it here. Catch up in a bit. Don't have time for photographs. Excellent. I can see why a lot of bikers don't use this coming down the way. Okay, cool. On the other side of the Rhine now. We're all good and onwards. So I skipped breakfast at the campsite this morning just to make some headway, and just going through that town there, I could smell bratwurst somewhere. and it was making me hungry, so stomach started to rumble. So I think it's time to get some food. Bit lunchtime when I get to Bingen, then get a bit to eat, and then plot a route down to Baden Baden. Pizza and schnitzels. Not for breakfast, unfortunately. Anyway, there's a petrol station coming up. I'll call in there, top up, and get some fuel as well. Stopped at a petrol station to get a bite to eat, and now making my way down towards Baden Baden. Hopefully there won't be too many road closures. Get to Baden Baden in about 2 hours down the motorway, but I think this way is nearly 3 and a bit, I think it said, which I think is a lot nicer. Less traffic on the roads and a lot nicer scenery as well. The asphalt is fantastic. Another castle. What is it about European towns and villages that they seem to be deserted of people? Or is it they just don't want to go out in the midday sun? Not this one. Let's put this one. The road less travelled, as they say. This road's very good, but there's villages every kilometre, 2 kilometre, going from 100 down to 50, but worth it I suppose. Again, no people, nobody out in the garden. I have to wonder if everything I'm doing is a dream and we're in the Matrix. So if you are real, say hello in the comments. So here I am amongst the corn on the cob and the wheat. Looks like it is popular with bikes, which is always a good sign, I suppose. I have to say, this National Route 48 is actually quite good. It's a nice sweeping road, lots of twists on it, nice and open. The only downside is every junction drops down to a 70 and villages to a 50 or a 30. But I can live with that for the fact that it's fairly quiet. I wonder if they're illegal on the road, as they are. Well, maybe not, they've got indicators. In the UK, they're illegal on the road. Anyway, point I was gonna make. The good thing about riding on the back roads is obviously how great the scenery is and going through all these villages. However, if you want to stop for a comfort break, there's no services. But once you leave these villages, you get into some nice twisty roads in the forest. Although I did see a sign that said watch out for deer for the next 3 kilometres. think it was a good find, this road number 48. Certainly it's getting to that time of the day where I'm starting to feel a little bit tired again. These forest roads are brilliant, except where you have to slow down continuously. But KTM rider in front overtook me and kept doing 100k regardless of the fact that it said 70. I mean, I don't know these roads, so I'm going to stick to the limit. I don't know how severe the hairpins are. When I can see ahead, I'll open it up. Just hope a deer don't jump out in front of me. Have I said how good this road 48 is? I mean, it's restricted to 70 in some places and you can't overtake cars, but it's just sweeping bend after sweeping bend. Okay, I found myself a campsite just outside Baden Baden, just off the B500 actually. So that means I'll be going through Baden Baden. 4:15 arrival, so I've got time to stop if I wanted to. One of the alternatives was to actually stay in a hotel in Baden Baden, but because tomorrow is forecast heavy rain, but we'll play it by ear. When I stop, I might have a look at the weather forecast again. So yeah, found a campsite, can't remember what it's called, but it's in the Black Forest. It's off the B500 past Baden Baden, so at least it's in the sat nav. I don't have to go looking, and if I wanted to stop in Baden Baden, I've still got plenty of time. Another 30-degree temperature day. As soon as I get out of this village, get some air through the vented jacket again. But so far, touch wood, the weather's been great. I know it's only going to be limited. If it does rain tomorrow, then I'll just deal with it. I'm actually recording the route on the sat-nav. Had mixed results with that on the last trip. But the one thing I want to do is plot this onto a map when I get home and have a look at what route it's taking me, because I don't know if it's the sat-nav. So far, the routes it's found for me, avoid motorways, is brilliant. Fast flowing, sweeping, lots of twisties through the countryside, lots of left rights. They are intersected with villages where you have to slow down and stop, and the occasional roadworks as well. Certainly enjoying these roads. Look at these twisties. Look at the road, George. Purely going by sat-nav now. I didn't memorise any place names. Okay, that's one to remember. I'll flash the road number on the screen. But again, it's another one of these narrow roads through the forest. Popular with cyclists as well. And into the village. I wonder how their winters are here. Do they get snowed in? Because they are remote. Hamlet, not a village. And back into the forest. Okay, I'm in Baden Baden. Traffic's a nightmare. I've Stopped to get my directions and bearings, plug in the campsite. The battery died as I crossed into Baden Baden. Didn't actually get the entrance in. Now I'm just going to follow the sat-nav until the campsite. I'm on the B500. I came in on the B500. The last stretch was a little bit of the motorway. But now we're going to just make my way down, find this campsite, and might come back into Baden Baden tomorrow. So this is the northern half of the B500 that I missed out when I did my trip down to the Dolomites. So the campsite is off the B500. If there is no space in the campsite, then there is the hotel, which is along the B500, which a lot of bikers stay at. But again, I'm not quite sure how much availability they would have at this time of year. I mean, it's midweek, it's Thursday, so yeah, who knows. On the B500 twisty section now. It's interesting, just got overtaken by several bikers doing more than 50 on here. I mean, 50 is way too slow. If they're going to reduce it to 60 kilometers an hour. Yeah, that's him. He's obviously done a U-turn and come back again. But looking forward to getting to this campsite now. It's got some good reviews, so chill out for the evening. Onwards and upwards, eh? So I just turned off the B500. I think that was the campsite. Yeah, that was the campsite there. Missed that campsite because my destination wasn't the campsite, it was the centre of town. Where was that entrance? Signage is a bit naff, but now where's reception? Reception and kiosk. Park here and let's go in. Okay, perfect. Let's turn you off then. At least it's outstanding for the bike. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing I couldn't take the bike onto the lawn, but never mind, that's fine. It'll get covered tonight and locked up. Okay, I'm going to set the tent up and I'll speak to you in a bit.